Okay, the ceremony we're going to be doing here has been done in a nearly identical fashion for at least 8,000 years that we know of, and probably longer. That's an extraordinary feat. And those of you that have taken others of my workshops know that I have some criticisms I level at the Brahmin priests. They did abuse their power, there is no question about it. But there are some things they did very well. And preserving the integrity of these ceremonies is one of them. You know, if I whisper something to Deb, it goes around the room, it's completely different by the time he gets here. Imagine a whole ceremony intact for 8,000 to 10,000 years. Part of the reason for it is that it was taught and transmitted in an oral tradition. And our brains were wired differently than they're wired today. I'd be lost without my palm this, you know, and my computer that. It helps me remember various details. But then, people could replay back for you whole conversations that they had last week, last month, last year, because their brains were wired that way. It was nothing for them. So in the oral tradition, it was nothing for them to sit and over a period of time, starting with young ones who were 8 to 10 years old, and after 15 to 20 years of schooling, they knew quite a bit. Even today, someone who is a classically trained Brahmin priest can chant for days, knowing all kinds of scriptures that we would find incredible. But that's because they've been doing it for years and years and years as part of their tradition. In the last year, I've attended 2 ceremonies conducted by a Jagat Guru, doing ceremony to a Shiva Lingam and a Sri Yantra that have been done continuously every day puja by a Jagat Guru for 2,500 years. More about that tomorrow. But here's tremendous power in this humble being who does this puja for us every day. He does it for us, contributing to world order and world peace and our group evolution as a species, if you choose. The first is the ceremonial bathing called the Abhisheka. It means the pouring of the ceremonial water, which we will say certain mantras over the water, and then I'll come around at the very beginning to each of you, putting some water in your outstretched right hands. Bell stops, then we'll have some time of silent meditation. You'll hear me say, offer the prayers to God in whatever way is comfortable and familiar to you. And I ask you now, please have one small corner for world peace, we do need it so, and another small corner for those across the country who are struggling financially without jobs. The I Ching, the oracle in a book from China, says the time between the ablution, the pouring of the water, and the sacrifice, the offering of the rice, is the time of greatest inner concentration. The water and such. And then we're getting ready for the second phase of the puja, which is the offering of the 1,000 names. 1,000 is, it is in fact 1,000 names, but it stands for infinite. It's a representation of the infinite names and powers of Mother Lakshmi. And we'll chant those. And once we finish the 1,000 names, as a piercing tone, as you might hear, it takes the power of the mantra and drives it through the astral nerve tubes, or the nadis as they're called, the etheric veins in the subtle body. And sometimes it drives stuff in places that prana hasn't moved in several lifetimes, and it can be jarring. I got 1,000 names. You will get some rice in your hand. As I'm chanting the name, I will chant the first part of the name, Om Shri Maha Lakshmi Ye, then you will say Namaha and throw a grain of rice.
A grain.
A grain. One, they say one name, one grain. One. Those of you who want to be actively involved, we will urge you to come down and sit a little closer. Those of you who feel more meditative, you may hold your rice until all the 1,000 names have been offered, and then you can come up and offer your rice at the end. So there's 2 ways to participate, active or passive, but both. It's this. Om Shrim 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 Mahalakshmiye Namaha. Can you say?
Om Shrim 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 Mahalakshmiye